Welcome to The Written, a recurring podcast featuring student works of nonfiction, short fiction, poetry, and more. Today, New Media Lab host Felix Agosto talks with Jen Warner about the DCCC Creative Writing Club. We also feature found poems written by some of the club members. Enjoy the show!
Hi, my name is Felix Agosto, and I'm here today as a host for the New Media Lab and as a member of the Creative Writing Club. I'm here today with Club President Jen Warner and my fellow members. Tell us a little bit about the club, Jen.
Hey, Felix. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to let DCCC know about the Creative Writing Club. On Sunday, I send out a newsletter called the Creative Writing Corner. I include meeting info, a Pegasus update. Pegasus is our literary magazine, so it's this really cool chance for us to pull the works of the artists and writers at the school and release a publication every spring. So we do an update on Pegasus, and we do a link to maybe some kind of writing resource, like a contest or an event. And then lastly, there's a short writing prompt. And after that Sunday communication goes out, we get together on Thursdays, 7:30 at night, via Zoom right now, and we talk about all of those things. So we kind of talk about our week. We get a little bit of FaceTime, which we don't get a lot of these days. We get to share our exercises. And what's really cool about that is that these all kind of become like baby ideas that we get to archive and tap into throughout our endeavors. So maybe we want to write a book someday and these become chapters, or maybe we want to write a song and these become titles, and they are just these pieces that kind of stay with us, that we hype each other up about and work on together as a group.
That's great. And you kind of already touched on this a little bit, but I'm just curious, maybe if you had something a little bit more for this, why should students get involved?
I think that given that the club requires no experience, which is important to note, it's a really good way for you to get into the world of writing, kind of at this like lower commitment level, in this private, intimate session where we're able to, I tell the members all the time, I'm not here to critique you. I'm your hype person, and so are everyone on this call. So I think it's a really good way to kind of learn a little bit surface level about poetry, about prose, about what inspires each other, and kind of get your feet wet with that and figure out if that's something that you want to do professionally, if that's something you want to do, privately, or, if it's something that you want to explore at the college, because we have a lot of great resources in creative writing at the school.
All right. Yeah, that's great. I can actually speak to that myself, having been in the club. It's definitely been something that's really opened my eyes to where you can take your abilities, and even if you don't write every single day, even if it's just once a week, it's been very helpful for me as an artist to have that prompt, to have those people I can talk to, and to have that sounding board that's there to help and be that sort of that hype center, you could say. But could you remind me real quick, could you touch on a little bit of how the students can get involved?
Sure. It is never too late to join. We still try to keep up with these exercises. We still like to check in with each other. We still like to create these pieces to share with each other. So if you just want to send me an email or any of the other club members, we will get you in touch and we'll get you the Zoom link. One of the things that we like to do every week at the Creative Writing Club is try out exercises. One of those exercises we did was called a found poem. A found poem is when it's sort of like a collage in the literary world. You take an existing piece and pull words that speak to you and put them together to emphasize the piece, to reimagine the piece, and kind of make it something new and different and your own. We have a collection of found poems to share. Thank you for listening. If you are interested in joining the Creative Writing Club, you can send me an email at jbrown85@mail.dccc.edu.
All right. Thanks for talking to us, Jen.
Thanks for having me.
And now we have a short collection of found poems from the Creative Writing Club members.
My name is Tara Hogan, and I took my found poem from a book called Because of a Woman. Moments of you not being here haunts our home and my empty, chaotic heart. I've grown enough to nurture you. Do not apologize in the things you forgot. You, still, motionless, you left an impression on me. Fools fall in love because fools are people too.
Hi, I'm Jada Hancock, and I'm actually found my found poem from a Time article from last week, right around the time that there was a lot of sad things happening, and there was a conversation opening up around Asian Americans. And I found this article and it was really sad and depressing, and I ended up changing it into, the new title is called Time, Hate Isn't the Answer. Horrified, shoved to the ground, died, murder, abuse, physical violence, increase in violence, xenophobic rhetoric, racist attacks, watching slaughter. How many more? Speak out, be higher, increase Asian place. Repeat, in America, help shape perception. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brian Mangini, and I've got my I found poem from one by Dylan Thomas. The original poem is titled, "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night." Rage, rage at close of day, your fierce tears grieved it on its way. Wise men be gay into that good night. Curse, bless me there on that sad height. Frail deeds might have danced they, good men crying near death I pray.
Hi, my name is Carmen Boris, and I found my found poem from a love sonnet by Paul Neruda. Okay, so here it goes. I crave, silent and starving, I prowl all day. I hunt, I hunger. Hands, color of pale stones. I want, I want, I want. I pace, hungry, hunting like a puma.
Hi, my name is Jen Warner. I took my poem, my found poem from Stephen King's It. And with this exercise, I tried to challenge myself to make a darker page have a totally different feel. So the original page is about an encounter with it, with one of the characters of the story, and I changed it to the following. Along the ice toward the canal bridge stood a bird approaching the intense cold, trying to escape in the last of daylight. A rosy glow cast no shadow, close enough over uneven ice to keep out that killer wind. The whistle of the deep winter cold startled its face, a swooning horror that caused him to clamp down viciously on the bridge's railing in shock.
Hi, my name is Felix Agosto, and I got my poem from the Unwound album, Repetition. Journal entry number 20. Look, a ghost, hid behind the door. The stairway turned to black. She never had a chance, so now fall and break your hands. The drawback to living is finding yourself. Let your heart bleed, thinking faster, faking answers. Watch. Don't believe it if you see it. Don't have faith in anything. Don't have faith in anything. Fearful living, nothing given. A conversation with myself. Can you rewrite history?
You've been listening to The Written, brought to you by the New Media Lab and Campus Life. Your host for this episode was Felix Agosto. Our guests included Creative Writing Club President Jen Warner and her fellow members, Tara Hogan, Jada Hancock, Brian Mangini, and Carmen Perez. My name is Raven Amaro, your announcer for this episode. If you have an interest in joining our student organization, please reach out directly to the Office of Campus Life. We welcome both beginners and experienced content creators. You can participate on the mic or behind the scenes on our production team. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram at DCCC_New Media Lab. Thanks again for listening.